importance of it, which we've kind of covered a little bit. Who are pollinators? And the threats to them. Because there is a reason that I'm coming to talk to you today about pollination. I guess we'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so the food we eat. Every third bite that you eat comes from a pollinator. From something that they pollinated, that grows, that eventually comes to our table, okay? Whether it's fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, all that kind of stuff pollinators are responsible for. They provide 35% of crop production worldwide, all over the world. Think about that for a few minutes. $18 to $27 billion worth of food comes from pollinators. That's a big number, isn't it? Okay, just like we talked about, 1 in every 3 bites comes from a pollinator. You can see the peaches, there's peppers, the berries, the pears, all of that different stuff comes from pollinators. But we're not the only ones, right? There's animals. What do we got? A bear? That's right. Okay. Fruits and seeds are a major part of the diet of mammals. And all of those comes from pollinators. And I want to explain this to you. Okay, pollinators are very important. We're going to talk about bears for a minute. Okay, and a bear's diet. This is due because with what their diet consists of, especially in Yellowstone Park. Has anybody ever been to Yellowstone? Okay. It's pretty cool up there, isn't it? Okay. If they didn't have pollinators, it all consists of nuts, roots, grass, rodents, and moss. Okay, that's all that consists of those bears' diets, and every single one of those, in part, is a pollinator is responsible for. So there would be no more bears if we didn't have any bees. All right, so we've talked about the bees, but does anybody know what that bird is?
Hummingbird.
It's a hummingbird. How many of y'all have hummingbird feeders? They're pretty cool to watch, aren't they? They're fast and they fly. Some of them are really pretty. Okay, what is another one? The butterfly and the bee. The squirrel. What do y'all notice that's on the bee?
Pollen.
Pollen. When he leaves that, where's he going to take it? Okay, the main group of pollinators are insects. Why do you think that is? They can fly, right? And it makes it easier getting from, we'll just take flowers from one flower to another. Or if they're in trees, you know, pear trees, peach trees, go from one to another. So it's really easy for them to do. Butterflies, moths, beetles, bees, those are all different pollinators that we see. And we all have, here in East Texas, we have all kinds of those, right? But bees are the most important. Why do you think? They pollinate, but how many bees do you think there are? Millions and millions and millions, right? There's so many of them. Another important reason that bees are probably the most important is because when they go out of their nest and they go flying around, they go to one flower, right? So they go to that one flower. The next flower they go to is the same one. They don't go to different flowers, different types of flowers. Like they'll go to, let's say, an orchid, okay? Well, when they leave that orchid, they'll go to another orchid. They won't go to a dandelion or, you know, a daisy or, they go to the same flowers. So they stay within they're consistent in their flowers, okay? They stay the same, they don't ever change. Okay, but bees are in decline. Why do you think? Well, people are killing them, but how are we doing that? How? What do you think? That's true for some of them, but I don't think that's true for all of them.
We're destroying your nest.
We destroy their nest, that's right. How do we do that?
That's me.
What about going out and clearing brush? Why would you throw rocks at them? Okay, so we go out. Hey guys, listen. Hey, shh. This is going to be important for you to know later, okay? We go out, we clear land, so that cuts a lot of their nest out. We use pesticides. You know what pesticides are?
Poison.
They're chemicals that we use to cut out the weeds, and some of them help stuff grow, but for the most part, we use pesticides to kind of try and wipe something out, what we're trying to get rid of. Okay? And disease is a big part of it. Okay? We just talked about we go and we cut out their stuff so they lose their houses, so they lose their habitat, the pesticides. There's other pests that come in. What are some of the things that eat bees and moths? Birds. What else? Frogs, lizards. All those animals eat insects too, right?
Beavers.
Okay, so they're killed by that. Climate change around here, I don't really think is a big deal. And then other types of plants that grow up are also big problems. Okay, so what can we do to help? And this is part of what I do and why I'm here with y'all, okay? We can plant a garden. We can actually build a native bee nesting box. Y'all are probably too young, but back when I was a kid, on 706, if you turn by the Colts, if you go down there to the very end, almost where the three churches are, on the left-hand side, there used to be a bee farm. Yeah, do any of y'all remember that?
I went down
I think
there.
there's still a sign.
Yeah, there's no sign.
Right, but there used to be a bee farm there. Well, as people my age are getting older, do you think a beekeeper is something I would really want to do? Me? No. Okay, and a lot of people don't. They don't think of it as a career that will be beneficial to them, okay? And so a lot of the beekeepers are older, they can't get out of it, or they passed away, and there's not a lot of people that are coming out to take their place. Okay, and another one is to avoid or limit pesticide use, or just use pesticides that are natural for the environment. Okay, so we can limit pesticide use so they won't kill the insects. When you go to, if you want to make a garden, one of the things that you can do is bees love bright colors, okay? The softball yellow that a lot of y'all are wearing, lime green, bright blue, pinks, purples, all bright colors. Bees are attracted to them. So that's a big thing when you're thinking about planting a garden. In any flowers that produce nectar, the nectar smells sweet, and so that attracts them as well. Okay, we can develop new nests. They build nests in like old rodent holes. Y'all know what those are? What's a rodent that builds a nest under the ground? What about moles?
Prairie dogs.
So when the rodent has left the nest, the bees will go in and use it. Overgrown areas, brush piles, grass. Usually, you see that box down there? That's what they're considering an artificial box. Usually, they don't work. Okay, you can put a box out there and set it up like for what they need, but generally they won't use it because it's not a natural habitat for them. So they won't know to use it. Okay, so we're going to talk about the poster contest now. Y'all think you have a pretty good idea of what pollinators are and what they do? Yes? Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about poster ideas and what makes a good poster and what to avoid. Okay, so what makes a good poster? Something that attracts attention. okay? You want them to look at it and look at yours only, okay? So it wants to attract attention. Something that's simple and clear. You don't want a lot of words, okay? A lot of words, you just want something that's kind of catchy, okay? Uses colors and white space to attract attention. See, this one here, it also used the white part of the poster board, like for the clouds and for the roof of the house, the fence. So it didn't only use color, but it also used some of the white. And make your letters large enough so that they can read them. Okay, so some things to remember. Don't use too many words. Use a combination of words and pictures. Be as neat as you can. Blend your colors, make them a lot of different colors. Depending on your design, leave the white space like we talked about in the previous one. And make sure the poster's balanced, meaning don't put so much on one side that the other side looks like there's nothing there, okay? So, y'all are gonna do this and you're gonna work hard and you're gonna be neat. And so, what do you think y'all are gonna get out of it?
A surprise.
All right, first place will win $25. Okay, second place will win $15 and third place will win $10. Okay? Hey, listen, on top of all of that, if you place first, second, or third, there's an area competition, which means your posters will get sent to Austin, and they will be judged with, I think there's 6 regions, and we're all allowed to send 3 posters, okay? So your poster, if you're in the top 3, will also go on to the area competition. If you win the area competition, you will go to the state competition, which only includes the top 1 from each of the 6 districts, okay? If you were in the top 3 of those 6, you will get recognized at a banquet next year that the NRCS holds every year, okay? So it's kind of a big deal. You will be competing not only with your friends here in the 5th grade, but also with kids all over the state. So it's kind of a neat thing. But if you win first place here, you get $25. Yay! Okay. So does anybody have any questions? Good question.